Good evening, you're watching Estuary News, I'm Hugh Riches. Tonight, the victim of a serious assault is named, the Turner Prize opens to the public in the City of Culture, and a new campaign to recruit GPs across our region. And later in tonight's programme, I'll be talking to Darren Simms about points of light and raising money, and before that, Blooming Marvellous with Elaine Atkinson. The victim of yesterday's serious assault at Winterton Community Academy in Grimsby has been named. 61-year-old Joy Simon remains in hospital and is as well as can be expected following the attack yesterday morning, according to the Humberside Police. A 16-year-old girl is still being questioned by detectives in relation to the incident. This year's Turner Prize nominees are now open to the public in Hull. Works by the 4 shortlisted artists are installed in the Ferrens Art Gallery. It's the first time the Turner has been out of London, in Hull, as part of the City of Culture. It's one of the world's most renowned art prizes. The overall winner will be announced in December. A new campaign has been launched to attract more doctors to our region. The Humber Coast and Vale has been developed by the Humberside group of local medical committees to tackle the current recruitment problems in general practice. A dedicated website has been set up where candidates can find jobs and learn more about living and working in the region. Dr. Krishna Kasaraneni from the group explains how the campaign will deal with a shortfall in the area.
There are a recruitment crisis in general practice up and down the country, and we have particular challenges because of the remote nature of where we are. Now, you may think we're not that remote, and Hull is right next to a motorway and so on and so forth, but there are other parts of the region, like Bridlington, North Lincolnshire, North East Lincolnshire, that aren't necessarily on people's radar with reference to places to go and work in. So what we want to be able to do with this website is to offer them the information that they would be looking for if they were a GP or staff that want to work in GP practices, to say this is what cost of living's like, this is how it's like working in the region, and to consider Humber to come and work and live here. The number of GPs that we actually require aren't the numbers that we're actually seeing in reality. So the combination of all of those three is causing us problems. And you're absolutely right to highlight the significance of Brexit in this scenario. Is when we're trying to recruit GPs from Europe and other parts of the world, it's very difficult to convince them to come and work here when there is a significant level of uncertainty.
And a new service has been launched in Hull to bring the public closer to services in the city. Connect Well is for anyone in the city or anyone registered to a Hull GP. 27 venues, mostly GP surgeries, will act as hubs. The Freedom Centre is another place where the public can go. Operations Manager Tony Forrester explains more, along with Pippa Robson of the North Bank Forum.
The idea behind it is quite an old one. For a long time, GPs have been realising that they want to be able to help their patients above and beyond just medical solutions to their issues, and that sometimes if someone's anxious about something, or they've been bereaved, or they're in debt, then actually a medical solution isn't appropriate. So this service has been funded by the Clinical Commissioning Group in Hull and the City Council here to make sure that people have access to a wider range of advice and support. So a GP or someone themselves might refer themselves into the service, and what we can do then is give people longer to talk, give them an hour to actually talk through their issues, to find out how we can help them. And then the staff will then either directly advise them on the issues that they've got, or refer them into like a whole range of community organisations like the Freedom Centre and the services that they offer.
I think you just need to go online, don't you, Pippa, and sign up for an appointment, and you would see an advisor. And what the Freedom Centre is trying to take it a little bit further. The Freedom Centre's got so many things that the public can access. So if you come there with some anxiety problems, you can speak to an advisor. He'll be able to signpost you, and most of the things are housed in the Freedom Centre from our point of view. So the gym's next door, or the cafe downstairs, or we've got social evenings. So if somebody is suffering or isn't getting out as much or needs a bit more support, it's all surrounded by them at the Freedom Centre. So we want to use the centre facilities to enhance what these guys are doing, connect the two together and make it a successful project.
Craftsmen's tools used or made in Hull are to be preserved as part of a new exhibition. The Tool Appreciation Society explores the significance of Hull's craftspeople from across the years. Fred McNamara brings us more.
The social, cultural and economic heritage of Hull's tools is being illuminated in a new exhibition at Hull Central Library. The Tool Appreciation Society is dedicated to recognising the skilled craftspeople of Hull and the stories that their tools could tell.
So my practice has always been interested in repair, and I'm an artist who uses craft techniques. And so for me, things like tools are very interesting objects. Tools are something that I've made myself by hand as part of my artworks for many years now. And I think tools are so exciting because they're such active objects. They're understandable for many people. You know, we can all pick up a ruler or a hammer or a plane and we can understand them. So there's many facets of the exhibition. It's quite large. Hopefully that means there's something for everybody. So from downstairs, we've got the Tool Appreciation Society with all of the books that the library have very kindly got in for us, tools for people to play with, note cards for people to write down their own stories and their own history with tools. To upstairs, we've got the exhibition of the artworks that I've made, both past and present. I've made some specifically for Hull and as an act of care for Hull. And then finally, we've got, for 1 week only, we've got the public toilet artwork, which is basically a response to how fantastic Hull's public toilets are. You know, they're beautifully, beautifully crafted places with an attendant who would have looked after them, grown their own plants, polished the brasswork, and actually been a central point for the community there. And obviously that's such an important facility and such an important aspect of Hull's heritage that I wanted to reopen Baker Street Toilets, which is right next to Central Library, and reimagine how that space could work if the toilet attendant was in there and they were making specific artworks to give to the city.
Michelle Alford of Hull Culture and Leisure Library Services says the exhibition's interactive nature can bring Hull's community together.
Library staff were working alongside Linda, going out and gathering stories from across the city that we wanted to be able to bring into the exhibition. And in the room that we're in now, there are lots of stories of different people from Hull that Linda has spoken to and worked with. And a lot of people have said to me, well, why the library for an exhibition like this? And it's because we have the ability to work out there in communities and work alongside people. Libraries are really good at community engagement and we're really good at research. So librarians were carrying out research on Linda's behalf as well as working with communities to gather stories, and Linda's been able to draw all of that together to create the exhibition, the Tool Appreciation Society.
So I've been so lucky that we've already had some volunteers here. So I've had a little bit of a sneak preview of some of the conversations that are coming up. And the reaction so far has been really positive. We've been so lucky with how people have brought this in with open arms. The threads I seem to have pulled out, I've been so fortunate that actually through the exhaustive research, the threads I've managed to pull out seem to be really chiming with people here.
This unusual exhibition allows an underappreciated aspect of Hull's history to be enjoyed by all. Fred McNamara, Estuary News.
Fred McNamara there reporting, hammering it home with the Tool Appreciation Society. I'm joined now by Elaine Atkinson to tell me about her award for work on Grimsby In Bloom. Elaine, you're effectively this television station's gardening correspondent. So
I won't go that far.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Pleasure.
First of all, before we talk about your award, how did Grimsby do in Britain in Bloom this year?
Well, East Midlands in Bloom. We
beg
got a silver award this year, which means we've got something to aim for next year to get up to the gold standard. But some of the areas that the judges have seen, they said that was gold standard. So just a few bits to work on.
What did you show them? Which parts of town have you been working on?
We actually showed them West Marsh. River Freshney that's running through the Duke of York Gardens and those sort of areas. So we knew that would be a challenge on with that, but we wanted to take that risk and we did well.
Okay, and silver is, because all the medals in these things, I always watch the flower show from Chelsea and there is some gilt silver and all that sort of, so silver's what, sort of kind of third from the top?
Yeah, there's bronze,
right.
silver gilt and then gold.
It's all very complicated.
It is.
Okay, so well done Grimsby, well done West Marsh. But you got something just specially for you as well.
I did. I got a judges award. So when the judges had come round, they'd seen everything that we'd done and they actually awarded me one for my enthusiasm and commitment to In Bloom.
Okay, and how are you going to get your bejewelled, diamond-encrusted gold medal next year? We're going to look at the advice mainly that the judges have said and where we could improve.
and we can always get one of the other East Midland judges over as well to actually come round with us and just advise a little bit more. But we're going to work on the same area. We're going to get more people involved with their own front gardens to actually enhance the area. So, and it will be work on the river.
Well, we'll come to the river in a moment, but it does involve a lot of people, doesn't it, this competition, the In Bloom competition?
Oh, yeah.
How many people do you rake in, if I may use that horrible pun?
Sorry, within Grimsby, do you mean?
Within Grimsby, yeah.
Our volunteers vary. You know, we could have one event on and we maybe have 10 people, then another town we could have 30, 40 people, but they're all dotted all over Grimsby, which all adds to the In Bloom. So somebody might be doing their bit in East Marsh or South or Yarborough Wood or wherever, and then it all comes together. Now, you mentioned the river, the Freshney. What are you going to do to it? A new group have just been set up, Grimsby In Bloom, Keep Britain Tidy, Vernell, Fire Service, Green Futures. We've all come together and we've got a big river care day on Saturday the 21st of October from 10 o'clock, and we're going to litter pick, we're going to strim, we're going to litter pick again, we're going to do the park.
If people want to get involved and volunteer, who do they get in touch with?
Yeah, just come and get in touch with me. If you go onto our Facebook page, under Grimsby In Bloom, you'll see all the details there, so they can contact me. But we will be promoting it a lot more.
OK, that sounds fantastic, and it's just a matter of clearing up the beautiful, what is such a clean water river Freshney, and getting rid of the water.
Yeah.
Elaine, good luck with that. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Join me after the break. Dan will bring us a roundup of the latest sports news, and I'll be talking to Darren Simms about raising money. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, Dan brings us a roundup of all the latest sporting action, and I'll be talking to Darren Simms about raising money with Points of Light. Swanland Library in Yorkshire is set to close as part of a refurbishment scheme. The inside of the library will be remodelled to create more space for public use and for groups to meet. It will create a larger library area for the books and smaller office space. During the closure, the closest alternative branches of libraries are at Willoughby and North Ferriby. The library will close at noon on Saturday. The works are expected to take about 3 weeks to complete. A series of coffee mornings is taking place across the region this week. They're in aid of raising money for Macmillan Cancer Support, the biggest fundraising event for people facing cancer. Last year's event raised over £29 million. A coffee morning's being held this Saturday from 11 a.m. at Howsham Village Hall, which is between Brigg and Caister. As well as lots of cakes, there'll be some crafts to buy and try with a craft table. Hull Fair is next month. It's one of Europe's largest travelling fairs, first held in March 1278. Taking over 16 acres of Walton Street car park, it features many attractions from around the world. This year's fair will be opened at 5 p.m. on Friday, the 6th of October, by the Lord Mayor of Hull, Councillor John Hewitt. A number of road closures will be in place during the fair. North East Lincolnshire will rock as part of an annual festival aimed at bringing music to the masses. The WAM, or the WAM Festival, Words and Music, across North East Lincolnshire, will give people across the borough the chance to see and take part in musical performances and workshops. Highlights include a vocal workshop at Grimsby Minster tonight and scenes from Handel's opera Samili next month. The festival starts today and runs until October. It's organised and hosted by the North East Lincolnshire Music Hub. Now, talking about people who know a thing or two about music events, I'm joined now by Darren Simms, who has just got a bit of a prize, Darren, for organising things like that. Congratulations. Tell us.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a shock. It was a shock.
Tell us, what is the prize?
I was very privileged and honoured and shocked to receive a Point of Light award from the Prime Minister Theresa May. It dropped through the post. I was made aware about it the night before and was told not to say anything until I received it. So it was a very big shock. Apparently, lots of people had nominated me for this award, which I was very grateful for. You know, so
a lot of people would be a little bit alarmed if they got a letter from Theresa May.
Yeah.
So the Points of Light scheme. It's been going for a while. I haven't heard of it before, I confess.
I think it's about 2 years, I think. Apparently it was introduced in the US, so for people that fundraise and do good deeds and so on. So every day apparently there's a Point of Light winner, and I was very honoured to receive this award from Theresa May. So we put on fundraising concerts, get waxed, heads shaved, football things. I've done a Lands End of John O'Groats bike ride, which we...
Well, let's slow down. Obviously, you're going to be listening to these things here. The point is that the award is for raising money, and that's really what you seem to be extremely busy doing, raising money all over the place. Just give us a few examples, because I know that you have a fairly countrywide field of operations.
That's right.
You're a Bristolian by origin.
That's right.
But you're a Hellensian by choice.
That's correct. That's right. Yeah, I married a Hull lady, so and I love it in Hull and Yorkshire. It's great. So yeah, it's been a variety of fundraising events all over the country and even abroad as well. So within the area, we've helped such great places like Case in Case Training Services, also Echoes Foundation, and also Variety the Children's Charity. We got them a minibus, and it's just great seeing what effects the fundraising does for these people.
Now, you casually mention events, but to get into a little bit more detail, just a few that strike my eye. You organise sporting events?
Yeah, sporting events. Yeah, well, as you can see, I'm not really a sportsman.
Oh, I don't know. You're perfectly athletic to me.
But,
thank you. But there's been some football.
Yeah, there's been some football. In the Bristol area, we put on the ex-Bristol City players versus just normal sort of county players or normal football players, and it's been great. We get a lot of people turn out. So this afternoon I actually bumped into Dean Windass, and we got the idea of maybe putting on the ex-Tigers players versus the ex-Bristol City players, having a come together of them, maybe doing something to help Case the training services, get some of the trainees to go and play with them as well and have their photographs taken, have a bit of music afterwards, and hopefully raise a lot of money.
Well, you talk about the music as well. I mean, I suppose that's the most common thing that you do, is organising gigs. Gigs is probably too small a word, big concerts to raise cash.
Yeah, we do anything from like a small pub gig to we hired the whole City Hall, which we have done in about the last 8 years, and this year, we actually sold it out with the 2 pianos, and it was an amazing event. We also had some of the young talent playing. There's one of my pupils called Senna Weeks, who's just turned 15. He's going to be a big star, and we encourage all the young ones to play as well, so they get their first taste of playing on a big stage.
So who do you get playing? You mentioned these local bands and bringing on local talent, but this part of the world, even a Bristolian must confess that this part of the world is particularly well blessed with music, isn't it?
It is, yeah. There's great local bands, and we're great followings, and yeah, we're very lucky, really. There's a lot to do around the area. So,
how did you get into this money-raising lark?
Well, my mother brought me up to be a good lad, and help other people. So. Since I was a young lad, I had that instilled in me, and then particularly the fundraising by myself started about just over 10 years ago. We're in a community centre helping a cancer charity, and they said, well, we need to raise some more money. So I suggested hiring the Causton Hall, which is the biggest concert hall in the southwest of England, and they said, okay then, do it. So I suddenly thought, oh dear, what have I done? And this was for the Nicola Corrie Support Foundation. So from there, we put on this big event, and it sold out again. And with no name acts, it was just local bands, a dance troupe, and myself really being very stressful at the time. But it all clicked in together with, I have a fantastic group of helpers who do anything from like sell raffle tickets, sell the programs, help with bringing the speakers in, which is a very important part.
I know, I've done it. I've been a roadie, no musician, but I have been a roadie.
Yeah, unsung heroes.
Thank you. Talking of that, though, you are a bit of a musician yourself.
Yes, yeah, I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I play mainly guitar and sing, and we've done a couple of charity singles. They haven't really got anywhere. We were hoping that they might have cracked in the last part of the charts, but nothing so far. But it's been great fun putting together, and they've still raised money, which is great.
If people want to get involved, is that your T-shirt says Daz's Rock 4 as a numeral charity?
Daz's Rock 4 charity. If you look it up on Facebook, then we have a page on there, and it keeps you in touch with what we do around the country, and also there are the ways you can donate and everything. I mean, it's varied about. We get brailers for young children. all sorts.
It does. Well done. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
your award.
Thank you, Hugh.
Thanks for coming in. Here's Dan with all the sports news.
We've got a full set of football fixtures for our local sides this evening. Hull City host Preston North End in the Championship as they look to halt a run of 4 games without a win. City have no fresh injury concerns going into the game, and head coach Leonid Slutsky could well name an unchanged lineup from the one that drew at Reading on Saturday. Preston are likely to once again be without influential midfield duo Ben Pearson and Daniel Johnson, who missed their weekend draw with Barnsley. Elsewhere this evening, Scunthorpe United make the long trip to Gillingham. Lee Novak is available for the Iron despite coming off in Saturday's win over Portsmouth. The summer signing has scored 2 in his last 2 games. But Graham Alexander will once again be without Connor Townsend, who will be out with a calf injury. Grimsby Town host Colchester United at Blundell Park. Russell Slade is likely to make changes following Saturday's loss to Newport, with Sariki Dembele one man that could drop out for a rest. Dailang Jasemi is in the frame to replace him, and all of tonight's games kick off at 7:45. Rugby now, and Phil Bentham has been named as the referee for Hull FC's Super League semi-final on Friday night. He'll be the man in the middle as the Black and Whites take on Leeds Rhinos at Headingley. Meanwhile, tickets for the game have gone on general sale this morning. And Hull Kingston Rovers prop Lee Jewett has been charged with a Grade B offence following their final game of the season. He was sin-binned during their defeat to Warrington on Saturday. He has an early guilty plea available. And finally, some rugby union results from the weekend. Hull Ionians lost by 36 points to 26 to Old Albanians, while Hull RUFC beat Harrogate 27-23. Scunthorpe lost 52-18 to Salop, and Hullensians beat local rivals Beverley by 24 points to 14. Josh Langford starred, running in a hat-trick. It started with this opening effort before he followed up with his second soon after. He completed the route as well, ending up with 3 of Hullensians' 4 tries.
That's it for tonight. My particular thanks to the Tool Appreciation Society. If you have a news story, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages, email news@estuary.tv or phone Grimsby 01472 3155553, or you can put pen to paper, write to us at Estuary TV, Nuns Corner, Laceby Road, Grimsby, North East, Lincolnshire, DN345BQ. Until tomorrow, from all of us, good evening.